The deep edge of the galaxy was cold and silent. Most races never came this far. There was no light here, no planets, no trade routes, no life. Only darkness and drifting rocks. But the Varnock patrol ship Shalzar was here on orders. Their job was to watch the border for anything strange. Pirates, rogue planets, or signs of old forgotten technology. Captain Therick stood on the bridge of the ship. His eyes watched the dark screen in front of him. His forearms were still. He had been a soldier for 50 cycles. Nothing surprised him anymore, so he thought. "Captain," the sensor officer said, "we are receiving a signal." Therick didn't move at first. There were always signals out here. Echoes, reflections, ghosts of old battles. But the officer looked worried. Her voice was shaking. Therick turned to her. "What kind of signal?" he asked. "I don't know," she said. "It's not one of ours. It's not from any known race. The code is strange, almost like music. But there's a pattern." Therick walked. To her console, he listened. The sound came through the speakers like a whisper. Low hums. A slow pulse. Then silence. Then it repeated. The ship's second officer, Rallick, frowned. "Could be a trick. A trap, maybe," Therick said. "But we need to know," he gave the order. The ship moved forward, slow and careful. It followed the signal deeper into the void. Stars became fewer. The air inside the ship felt cold. The crew stopped talking. Everyone felt it. Something was wrong. After 10 minutes, the signal grew. Louder. It was still soft, but now it felt like it was inside their heads. Therick held the edge of the console. His stomach turned. He looked at the screen again. "Do you see that?" the navigation officer said. At first it looked like a shadow, a long black shape in the middle of nothing. The ship stopped. The crew stared. Nobody spoke. The object didn't move. It had no lights, no signs of life. But it was huge, longer than a city. Its surface was dark, like burnt metal. It floated, but not like a ship. It looked like it was waiting. "Scan it, Therick," said the tech officer. Tried. Her hands moved fast. Then she stopped. Her face went pale. "There's nothing," she whispered. "I mean, the scan goes in, but nothing comes back, like it's not there." "It's there," Therick said, his voice low. "We can see it. Feel it. But the scan doesn't touch it," she said. "It's like it's outside reality." The ship turned its lights on the object. The beam hit the surface. Nothing reflected. The light disappeared. One of the younger crew members stepped back. It's dead space," he said. "It's not a ship. It's a grave." The bridge went quiet. Rallick walked closer to the screen. "Could this be a human relic?" "No," Therick said. "Humans are myths. They were real," Rallick said. "Long ago, they fought everyone. Then they vanished." Lights on. The bridge flickered. A deep hum came through the floor. Everyone froze. "What was that?" the tech officer asked. "I don't know," the engineer said. "It didn't come from us." The black object began to shift. Slowly it turned, not fast, not aggressive, just enough to face them. Then the signal changed. It became a voice, not loud, not clear. But there were words, not in Varnock language, not in any known code. Yet somehow everyone understood. "Do not come closer." The crew looked at each other. Some backed away from their stations. How do we understand that?" the sensor officer asked. "That's not possible." "In our heads," Rallick said. "It's not sound, it's thought." Therick's heart beat faster. He hadn't felt fear in years. But now it sat on his back like a weight. "Move us back," he said. The pilot tried. "Engines are not responding."
"What?" I said.
"Engines are not." The lights died. For 5 long seconds, there was only blackness. Then emergency lights came on, dim and red. On the main screen, the object was closer. Therick hadn't felt it move. Nobody had. "How did it?" "I don't know," the pilot said. "Just appeared." Rallick pulled up manual controls. "I'll try the auxiliary power." Nothing happened. "Gravity is holding," the engineer said. But life support is unstable. Is it attacking us? The voice said. One of the crew. No one answered. The black shape outside sat still, silent, watching, or maybe listening. Theric clenched his fists. If this is a human ship, Rallick nodded. We're not ready. We never were, Theric said. One of the younger crew whispered, Are we going to die? Theric looked at the screen. No, he said. Not yet. The black shape suddenly sent out a pulse. It wasn't light. It wasn't sound. It passed through the ship like wind through water. Everyone felt it. Some screamed. Others fell to the ground. Memories flashed in their minds. Burning stars, screaming machines, giant ships made of fire and metal. Human ships. Ships like this. One. Except. Smaller, this one was different. Bigger, older, angrier. Theric stood again, shaking. Send a drone, he said. We need to see it up close. Rallick hesitated. If it sees that as a threat, then we're already dead, Theric said. The drone launched. It was small, fast, and silent. It flew toward the black ship. Cameras turned on. The crew watched the feed. At first, they saw nothing, just black metal. Smooth. Then they saw writing. Small, faded letters. English. Theric couldn't read it. The translator gave a simple message. TSS Retribution. Terran warship. Class extinction. The drone moved closer. It scanned the surface. Then the feed cut. Just static. It destroyed the drone. The tech officer said. No, Theric said. It didn't fire. Rallick nodded. It just stopped it, like it touched the signal and erased it. Everyone stood in silence. The ship outside didn't move again, but they could feel it. Watching, waiting, breathing. The Rack turned to his crew. Keep all weapons offline. We do not provoke it. We wait. What? Someone asked. I don't know, Theric said. But it sent a warning. That means something. The bridge lights flickered again. This time, they turned blue for a second, then back to red. A new signal came. A voice, calm, cold. Your kind forgets. We do not. You cross the line. You wake the old. This is not your space. Then, silence. The black ship powered up. Not weapons. Not engines. Just presence. It became real. Theric stepped back. His voice was barely a whisper. They were real, he said. The stories were true. Rallick looked at him. Then what do we do? Theric didn't answer, because the truth was simple. There was nothing they could do, except wait and pray. The Varnak ship, Shalzar, floated in silence. The alien crew stared at the black warship outside their window. No one moved. No one spoke. They were not just afraid. They were frozen. The human ship, called TSS Retribution, did not move either. It just hung in space like a giant shadow, as if it belonged there, as if everything else was the mistake. Captain Therac's hands gripped the edge of his command seat. His 4 fingers twitched. His mouth was dry. His eyes were wide, staring. At the ship that had just spoken in their minds, it had spoken clearly. It had said, "This is not your space." The crew had heard it. All of them. In their thoughts, in their memories, even in their bones. The voice felt like thunder, but it was quiet. It was not shouting, but it felt stronger than anything they had ever known. Theric tried to speak, but no words came. He looked at his officers. Rallick was pale, his eyes locked on the screen. The others were shaking, some sitting on the floor, others still trying to breathe. The human warship had done nothing. No lasers, no missiles. It only appeared, and it had stopped the entire ship. No one had touched a weapon. No one had even thought about firing. Not because they didn't want to, because they couldn't. Every time someone even thought of pressing a button, something inside stopped them. A cold hand on the brain, a wall in the mind, something that said, no. The Varnak ship had powerful defenses, plasma cannons, shield walls, smart bombs. But all of it meant nothing now, because the Shalzar could not move. It was like space itself had locked them in place. Status, Thurak finally said, his voice weak. The engineer tried to speak. Main power is frozen. Life support is still on, but everything else is locked. I didn't shut it down. Shut itself down. Try backup, Thurak said. We did. Same result. No systems are listening. It's like the ship belongs to someone else now. The main screen flickered. For 1 second, an image appeared. It was not a camera feed. It was a picture inside the mind. A human face. Old, pale skin. No hair, eyes that didn't blink. Not angry, not kind, just watching. Then the face faded, and the black ship remained. What do they want? The sensor officer whispered. Thurak didn't answer, because he knew the truth. The humans didn't want anything. They were not asking. They were not warning. They were just remembering. Remembering the time when they ruled the stars. And maybe, just maybe, they were checking to see if someone still remembered them. Rallick stood slowly. He looked around the bridge. We need to move away. Can't, the pilot said. Engines are still locked. Then send a message to the fleet, he said. The communications officer tried. Her hands shook as she touched the console. No. Signal is going out, she said. Lets us talk inside the ship, but blocks everything else. It's like we've been cut out of the universe. The lights dimmed again, then turned off. Everything went dark. A soft blue glow replaced the normal red lights. The air felt heavier. A new sound entered the ship. It wasn't loud, just soft. Ticking. Like a heartbeat far away, the main screen changed. This time it showed numbers. A countdown 65958. What is that? The sensor officer asked. A warning, the pilot said. A timer. Maybe it's charging a weapon, Rallick said. Or giving us time to leave, Thurak said. But we can't leave, the engineer said. They know that. As the countdown reached 30, the crew began to panic. Some yelled, some cried, some prayed. Stop it, Thurak shouted. Calm down. But even his voice was not strong now. The numbers kept falling. 2019, 18. The rack looked at. Rallick, we need to do something. Like what? Show them we're not a threat. How? Thurak looked at the weapons console. Then he said, turn off the guns. They already don't work, Rallick said. Do it anyway. It official Rallick walked to the console. His fingers moved fast. All weapons. Shut down. The countdown reached 10. The ship shook slightly 9.8.A. Strange light passed through the bridge. Blue, cold, silent 7. The light touched. Everyone it didn't hurt, but it felt like something was reading them. Looking to their minds. 6-5. The rack closed. His eyes, he thought. We mean no harm, for we are only watching 3. We did not know. The space was yours too then. 1. The screen went black. The ticking sound stopped. Silence again. Nobody moved. Then the lights returned to normal. Red and warm, the systems blinked back on. The engines hummed. The gravity steadied. We're back, the pilot said. The crew looked around. The human ship was still there, still watching, still silent. But the message was clear. They had been tested. And for now, only for now, they had been spared. Thurak sat down. Rallick looked at him. Didn't it kill us? Thurak stared at the black ship, because it didn't have to. Rallick nodded slowly. So what now? Leave, Thurak said, before it changes its mind. The engines were working again. The Varnock ship turned slowly. Nobody dared to move too fast. Nobody spoke to the ship. Nobody even looked directly at it. They just drifted away. The crew stayed silent until the warship was far behind. Then the communications. System blinked. A message was waiting. One line. Only one. Remember this fear. The screen went black again. The Varnock ship entered. Jump space, they left the sector. But they didn't feel safe. They would never feel safe again. because now they knew the truth. Humans were not extinct. They were just waiting. And the TSS Retribution was only the beginning. The Schalzer flew fast through jump space, but no one on board felt safe. The black warship, the human ship, was far behind, but its presence still lived in their minds. No one spoke much. Some crew members were still shaking, some had not. Slept since they saw it, some didn't even eat. The image of the dark ship and the voice inside their heads would not leave. Captain Theric stayed on the bridge. He did not rest either. He stared at the screen. Even though there was nothing to see, he was waiting, not for a signal, not for a message. He was waiting for the fear to fade, but it didn't. A soft chime broke the silence. The communications officer, Era, looked up. "We have a message," she said. Theric turned to her. "From who?" "It doesn't say. There's no source. It just appeared. But I think it's from the human ship." Theric stood. "Play it." Era pressed a button. The screen flashed. A simple line appeared. "You are not the first." Then a second line. "You will not be the last." Then a sound followed. It was not music, but it moved like music, rising and falling, with rhythm and patterns. It felt like a story told through vibration. The crew listened in silence. Then Era gasped. "There's more images, thousands of them." In the background of the signal, "Showed them," Theric said. The screen filled with broken flashes, one after another. Blurry, fast, too fast to see clearly. But even with just a few seconds, the message was clear. War, fire, ships exploding, planets burning, humans fighting, winning. One image stopped longer than the others. A map. It showed part of the galaxy, and lines, red lines, stretching far and wide. Each line had a mark. TSS Theric stepped closer. "This is their territory." Rallick nodded. Or it was. "They were everywhere," Era said. "Then they vanished," Theric whispered. "Why?" The message ended. The screen went black again. Silence returned to the bridge. Theric looked at his crew. "This is more." Then a warning. "This is a message to the galaxy." "Coming back," Rallick said. "They want everyone to know," Era added. The rack slowly sat down. "And they chose us first." "Why us?" "I don't know," he said. "Maybe because we were the closest. Maybe because we were the loudest." There was a knock at the bridge door. A young tech walked in. He was pale, eyes wide. "Captain," he said, "there's something outside." Theric stood quickly. "Outside? We're in jump space." "I know. But you should see this." They followed the tech to the observation deck. The jump tunnel around them glowed blue, as it always did. But something new was inside it, eh? Small object? No engines, no light, just floating. Theric looked closely. It was a cube, dark metal. It spun slowly, as if carried by invisible hands. The cube moved alongside their ship, matching their speed. No matter how fast they went, it stayed there. "What is it?" Rallick asked. "I don't know," Theric said. "Pull it in." The engineer hesitated. "What if it's a trap?" "Everything could be a trap," Theric said. "But we need to understand. It's the only way forward." They used a field arm to bring the cube inside the ship. It was cold to the touch, heavy, but not too heavy. The surface had strange lines on it like a maze. No buttons, no lights. Then the lines lit up. The cube opened. Inside, there was a small, disc-old metal, almost like a coin. Rallick picked it up. "This is a data disk, but I've never seen this kind before." "We have translators," Theric said. "Use them." They placed the disk into the main translator system. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the speakers came on. A voice spoke, not loud, not angry, just tired. "This is Commander Rhea Carson of the Terran starship Fury. If you are hearing this, we are no longer in control of this space." The voice paused. "We built peace. We built walls. Then the galaxy turned against us, and we turned back. Harder. They feared us. They hunted us. We vanished. But we never left. We became something else. Something the stars forgot. Until now. The recording ended. No one spoke for a long time. Then Rallick said, "That voice." It wasn't just a warning. It was a memory, Therick said, and a promise. The cube began to glow again. New text appeared on the translator screen. The retribution is only one. There are others. Sleeping. Waiting. When the time comes, they will wake. The cube shut itself down. The glow faded. Therick turned to his crew. "We need to tell the galaxy." He said, "But who will believe us?" Era asked. Therick walked to the screen. He played the message again. The human voice filled the room. "They'll believe," he said. "Once they hear this." Rallick looked down at the cube. "Or maybe they won't," he said. Therick turned. "Why?" "Because some leaders will try to stop it, try to hide it. And that would be a mistake," Therick said. "A big one," Rallick agreed. Therick looked out the window again. The cube had appeared inside. Jump space, that meant only one thing. The humans could go. Anywhere, even places that were supposed to be unreachable. They didn't just watch. They listened. They followed. And when the time was right, ... they would return, and no one would be ready. The Varnock ship Schauser reached their home system after 3 days in jump space. The crew was quiet, broken in spirit. No one laughed. No one talked about home. They had seen something that changed everything, something the galaxy had forgotten. Terran warship. But now they were safe, or so they thought. Captain Therick stood in front of the High Council of Varnak. 12 old leaders stared at him with sharp eyes. The chamber was large, tall, and cold. He told them everything: the ship, the voice, the message, the cube. When he finished, the room was silent. Then one of the counselors spoke. "This is not possible. Humans are extinct." "We saw it," Therick said. "They are not." "Maybe it was a ghost ship, a trick from pirates." Therick's fists clenched. "No pirate can erase scans. No pirate can control a jump tunnel. That warship froze our ship without firing. It spoke in our minds." Another counselor leaned forward. "Even if it's true, we cannot tell the other races. It would cause panic." "You don't understand," Therick said. "This is not about panic. This is about survival," a voice from the side interrupted. "Captain." Therick turned. It was Admiral Kovas' old teacher and now the head of the Varnak military. "Come with me," Kova said. Now, Therick followed him out of the chamber. They walked in silence through long metal halls. At the end, a door opened. Therick froze. Inside was a room full of files, images, old weapons, star maps, and in the middle, a screen showing the black warship he had seen. "You knew," Therick said. Kovas nodded slowly. He had rumors, fragments, but no one believed. "Until now, you lied to the council, or politicians. You don't show a child a fire and ask them not to scream." Therick stared at the warship. "Image, you knew about the humans?" "We didn't think any still lived," Kova said. "Until now." Therick walked closer to the screen. "Have other ships seen them?" Kovas was quiet. Then he said yes for reports. "All deep space. All the same message." "Where are those crews now?" Kovas looked down. "Gone." Therick felt cold. "You mean they were killed?" "No," Kova said. "Gone. Not destroyed. Not damaged. Just missing. No wreckage. No signals. Just silence." Therick whispered. "We were lucky." "No," Kovas said. "You were chosen." Therick turned sharply. "What do you mean?" "Watch." This, Kovas said. He tapped a button. A new video began. It was short. A drone flying close to a large ship. Not retribution, but something else. Even bigger. Covered in strange shapes. Then, in a flash, the drone vanished. No explosion. No sound. Just nothing. Therick's skin crawled. "What ship was that?" Kovas answered. "It had no name. The markings were Terran." We found the video on an old exploration drone. Theric stared. These ships are waking up, he said. Yes, Kovas agreed. Why now, we don't know. Theric was quiet. Then he asked, can we fight them? Kovas said nothing. The silence was enough. That night Schalzer was placed under lockdown. No one could speak to outsiders. The cube was taken to a secret lab. The crew was separated and questioned, but it was too late. The message had already spread. Someone had copied the transmission, and someone had sent it out. 3 days later, a mining station on the far edge of the Glost sector picked up the message. The workers were confused. They didn't believe in human ghosts, so they sent a probe and never came back then. The sky above the station turned black, and a shape appeared, long, silent, watching. It was not retribution. It was something bigger on the station screen. Countdown appeared. 10, 9, dot. The station sent a distress call. 8, 7. They tried to run. 6. Their engines failed. 5. Then the message came. You woke us. For now, remember. 3.2. Then dash nothing. The station was still there. The power came back. Everyone was alive. But the black ship was gone, and in its place was a single floating beacon. The workers brought it inside. Inside the beacon was a small metal disc, just like the one Schalzer had found. But this time, the message was different. A new voice, younger, angrier. We remember the betrayals. We remember the fear. We remember the fire. And when we rise again, the stars will remember us too. That message reached 5 systems, and then 10 more, and then the entire Outer Rim panic spread. The word Terran was back on. Every screen, every empire sent scouts. None came back. But the ships kept appearing, not attacking, not speaking, just watching. And every time they left behind one thing, a small metal disc, each one with a different message, each one colder than the last, until the final message appeared on every network at the same time, across hundreds of worlds. One sentence. This galaxy belongs to us. The galaxy was not silent anymore. For thousands of years, peace had been normal. Small wars happened, but nothing large. Nothing like before. Now, the old fear was waking again. Terran warships were appearing in far places. Not many, just one. At a time, no one knew where they came from. They didn't talk. They didn't fire. They only appeared, watched, and left behind a message, and every message said the same thing. We remember. Captain Theric sat alone in a dark room. He was not on the Schalzer anymore. That ship had been taken, locked down by command, crew scattered. The cube removed, but they couldn't take the memory from him. He could still see the black ship in his dreams, still hear the voice, still feel the weight in his chest, that feeling that something huge had looked at him and let him live now. He was waiting for something. Anything. Then the door opened. Admiral Kovas walked in. His face was tired. They're ready for you, he said. Who? The Interest Council. Theric stood. You told them? They already knew. The Terrans had been showing themselves to other species. The Kroval Empire lost 3 scout ships. The Rin Syndicate found a disk on their moon base. Everyone knows now. No one wants to say it, but the humans are back. Theric followed Kovas to the council chamber. This one was different. Bigger, full of different species, not just Varnock. There were Rin, Krovel, Sen, and even one old Karothi, species that hadn't been seen in decades. Everyone looked tense, quiet, eyes sharp. Theric stepped forward. They are not ghosts, he said. They are real, and they are watching. Kroval generals stood. We have fleets. We can fight them. Theric shook his head. You don't understand. Couldn't even scan them. We couldn't move. They shut down our ship without touching it. A Sen ambassador hissed. Then what do they want? They haven't attacked, Theric said. They haven't made demands. They only send one message, remember? Remember what? Karothi asked in a low voice. No one answered. Because they all knew. Everyone had forgotten. A long time ago, when the galaxy was young, humans had ruled. Not through peace, through war, through power, through fear, and then they were gone, destroyed. No, sleeping, hiding, waiting. The council argued for hours. Some wanted to prepare fleets. Some wanted to send diplomats. Some wanted to run, but no one had a plan, because no one knew what would happen next. Back on the secret base, far from the council, a team of scientists were working on the cube. They had made progress. They had found files inside. Locked files, old human code. One scientist managed to break. She played the file. It was not a message. It was a log. A diary. Personal log. Commander Rhea. CARSONTSS Fury. Year 3992. Her. The voice was calm, but there was pain inside it. We were betrayed. We built peace. We offered safety. The other races smiled, then stabbed us. They feared our weapons, our minds, our speed. They joined together to destroy us. We saw it coming, so we left, went dark, hid our ships, hid ourselves. We let them forget. But now the stars are full of noise again, full of war, full of lies. And so we wake, not for revenge, but for order. Humanity will bring silence to the chaos. The log ended. The scientist sat still for a long time. Then she sent the file to the High Command. It was too late. Across the galaxy, more Terran warships appeared. Not cloaked, not hiding, but in full view. Above trade hubs, near colony stations, floating near capital cities, waiting on Varnock Prime. People stood in the streets, staring at the sky. Above them, a black triangle-shaped ship hovered without. Sound, it didn't fire, it didn't speak, it just existed, children cried. Soldiers pointed weapons at the sky, but did not fire, because they remembered the videos. They remembered the countdowns, and they remembered what happened when others tried to run. In the center of the Terran ship, a large, glowing circle opened. Inside, a figure stood, tall, covered in dark armor. Not a machine, not fully human. Something. In between, the figure raised its hand. A voice came from every speaker on the planet. You are not under attack. You are under observation. The Terran order has returned. Your history is filled with lies. That ends now. Number 1 moved. No one blinked. The figure it disappeared. The ship faded into the clouds. Theric watched it from the council tower. He turned to Kovas. They are not just warning us. Kovas nodded. They are preparing us. For what? For judgment? The stars were no longer safe. Every major race had seen them now. The black ships, the Terran warships. They appeared without warning, stayed for hours or days, and then vanished. Each time, they left no damage, no deaths, but they always left a message. You forgot us. We did not forget you. The galaxy was in panic. The Rin Syndicate shut down half its trade routes. The Kroval Empire moved half its fleets to the Outer Rim. Some planets began to speak of surrender, even though there had been no war yet. The fear alone was enough. On Varnock Prime, Captain Theric watched the skies again. He had not returned to duty. He couldn't. Not after what he had seen. Not after what he had felt. And now there was a new signal. One not from the Terrans, but from deep space. From a hidden Terran ship. One not moving, not appearing. One calling. Theric was summoned again by Admiral Kovas. Where is it? Laric asked. Sector 77E, Kovas said. Inside the grave. The zone. Theric's eyes narrowed. Nothing survives in that sector. We lost 5 ships there. We're sending you, Kovas said. Why me? Because it asked for you. Theric stared at him.
What do you mean?
Kovas handed him a tablet. One line flashed on it. Bring Captain Theric. Alone. Theric nodded slowly. Didn't ask questions. He already knew this was the end. He left that night alone in a small scout ship. No weapons, no escort, no backup. As he entered Sector 77E, Space grew darker, colder, silent. Then he saw it. A giant Terran ship, the biggest he had ever seen. Longer than cities, taller than mountains. Its surface was smooth and black, glowing softly with ancient red. Lights in it was alive. It didn't move. It breathed. Theric approached slowly. His ship was pulled in not by force, but by invitation. A soft corridor opened in the side. He landed, the door opened. He stepped out. Inside, it was quiet. No crew, no guards. Just a long, dark hall lit by red lights. At the end, a figure waited. Human, tall, old, wearing black. Armor with gold markings. Theric stepped closer. The figure spoke without moving its mouth. "You are afraid," nodded. "Yes, good. Fear means respect." "Why me?" Theric asked. "Because you listened. Because you didn't fire. Because you were the first." "The first what?" The figure walked closer. Its voice was still in Theric's head. "First to see us and understand." Theric stared at him. "What? What are you?" The figure stopped. "I am Commander Rhea Carson. Last of the old Terran fleet and first of the new. But you're human? Not fully? We changed. We evolved. Time did things to us. Hiding did things to us. But our purpose is still the same, which is..." The figure raised a hand. A screen appeared beside them. It showed the galaxy, so many systems. So many planets, then. Red marks began to appear, one by one, hundreds, thousands, double quotes. "We built order," the figure said. "Then chaos took it. Now we bring order back." Theric took a step back. "You plan to take the galaxy?" "No," the voice said. "We don't take. We return. And the galaxy must decide what to do with us." The screen flashed. Again, it showed hundreds of Terran warships, waking, rising from moons, from stars, from dead planets, all ready, all watching. Theric felt a deep chill. "This will cause war," he said. "Not if they kneel," the voice said. "We offer peace. Under Terran law, under Terran balance. But if they refuse..." The warship around them hummed. "Then they will remember the fire." Theric looked up. "Why tell me this?" The figure turned. "Because you will speak for them. You will be the voice of the new age." Theric didn't answer. "You may go," the voice said. "Tell them we gave you life. Tell them we gave them a choice." Theric was returned to his ship. The ship left the giant warship. No one stopped. No one followed. Back on Varnock Prime. He stood before the High Council again. He told them everything, and then he gave them the final message. A message that had been burned into his ship's walls. A message for all species. This galaxy is ours. You may live in it, or you may burn in it. Choose. The council sat in silence. Then the stars lit up. Hundreds of Terran ships appeared across the sky, not firing, not moving, just waiting, watching, and from deep space. One last voice was heard across every system. "This is not invasion. This is memory. This is humanity. We are home."